Gina. Stranded on an island in the middle of the ocean. Only enough food for one person. The question is, who will be the Outlaster? Keep in mind, if you are not familiar with the show, I recommend you go ahead and watch it. But if you're not, there are spoilers ahead and you might not be able to follow along the episode. That being said, we're going to be doing this one on the Brooklyn Nine-Nine family. All right, so let's start with the easy ones. Hitchcock and Scott, let's just put them together because there's not really a lot they've done separately more than they've done together. Let's talk about the things they've done together. One time both of them took bullets right between the chest while using only a slug sauce to protect them, which is crazy. Let's see. With Hitchcock, he actually has the record for most arrests in Brooklyn Nine-Nine on the 99 precinct. And for Scully, he tackled, I believe her name was Debbie, when she was trying to escape with some orange chicken from the fridge. So that being said, those are probably their most impressive feats. Gina Linetti has actually won a Halloween heist and even managed to change the name to, I believe, person instead of detective. It was Genius Person or something like that. Anyways, on top of that, she won a stare down with Terry, who was waiting on her to turn off her heater, and it started setting on fire. And instead of turning it off still, she let it get going, and Terry, was waiting on her to turn it off, and she wouldn't, so he put the fire out. So she actually shows that she can do a stare down with anybody. Let's not forget, Gina also got stabbed in the back with a knife and survived that. She also survived getting hit by a bus, okay? If that doesn't show how tough she is, I don't know what does. Charles at one point actually was able to out Detective Jake in a little situation where somebody was tampering with evidence and figured out who did it. It was some kind of glitter red bomb, and Charles figured out who did and got that person arrested immediately before anyone else could figure it out. So that's pretty impressive. On top, one time, if that wasn't impressive enough, there's one time where he actually took Terry down to the ground, okay? One-on-one boxing. Now, granted, it was a little dirty boxing. He used Grandma's little special strawberry basket, which means he just hit him in the special place, and he got Terry to go knock down for that reason. But still, a knockdown is a knockdown regardless. He was able to save Sergeant Peanut Butter from a burning fire. On top of that, he took a bullet in the butt. So he has two buttholes. Terry. Now, Terry is pretty interesting. He was able to lift some monitoring systems by himself. He was able to lift Jake by himself like he was nothing. He lifted Scully. Scully's pretty big, and he lifted him upside down and shaked him, okay? That's crazy. He also has broken through walls, so let's just say Terry is pretty tough to put down. Terry even held 3 perps down on the ground by himself, okay? 3 of them, using his legs, and 2 when it was his arms. I mean, the guy was crazy. Okay, let's talk about what he could break. He broke a cell phone. He broke an 8-ball. One time he bended a coin. Okay, he bended a coin. A coin. Okay, no one can do that. Captain Raymond Holt. This guy's crazy. He took down the freestyle killer, who's a murderer, and he took down the disco strangler, who's also a murderer. Another thing he did that was really impressive, in one Halloween heist situation, he was able to lift up a monitoring system stacked together tons. Okay, they weigh a ton, using only a bike and some wire, a bike pedal, to use only his legs to lift it up and then gently put it back down. Okay, it was pretty heavy, these monitoring systems. So to show that he has the leg work is it's an understatement. The episode is when he took out 3 perps by himself. He was winding up, he was in a corner, he was in an alley by himself, and he took them down. He injured 2, and I guess 1 got away. So Raymond Holt is not easy to take down. It was an incident where he fell and he landed on a pipe, but he didn't scream in agonizing pain or nothing. He took it like a champ. And then on top of that, he had to pull that pipe out by himself and then surgically stitch himself back up. The guy is a boss. Okay, now here's another top dog. Raymond Holt. There was a moment where Cheddar got kidnapped and the guy was about to get away with Jake, but luckily Raymond Holt got on top of the moving vehicle. So Ray is on top, the perp is in the moving vehicle driving. Then he pulls out a weapon, tries to shoot Ray. Ray disarms him in that. Then the perp gets Ray off the car by braking really fast, and then these two are going at it. The perp pulls out a knife, takes on Ray with that. Ray disarms him with that. Perp looks like he's younger than him. He's also very more skilled. And Ray still beat him to the ground. Okay, one of the best impressive moments of feat I've ever seen in Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Amy Santiago. Okay, so Amy's actually pretty impressive because in one episode, she was able to quickly come up with a plan during a Halloween heist that she wasn't even ready for. Jake and Captain Holt had already had their plans, and Amy had to think one off the spot. So she's capable of being really smart when she needs to be in a moment's notice. In one episode titled Manhunter, Amy needed to go to pee really badly, and some perp was holding, I think, Captain Holt hostage and gunpoint. And, Rosa said something like, oh, we have all the time in the world. And Amy freaked out because she knew she needed to pee really quickly. So she just reacted quickly. With the range this perp had, plus he had a loaded gun, she managed to run right at him, grab the gun off of him, disarm him, and then managed to go take care of her business the way she needed to and intended to. Another episode was when she had to chase down a perp while wearing a wedding dress. So she was trying on some wedding dresses. Then she saw the perp, started chasing him down. She only had a wedding dress on. She didn't have a gun or anything. And she chases him, doing all kinds of crazy acrobatic stuff. And then eventually she gets toe-to-toe with this guy and only uses a veil to put this guy down to the ground. Jake Peralta. Okay, this guy is pretty interesting. He broke a guy's record the same day the guy made the record. Okay, that's gotta tell you something. He, in one episode, he actually hunted down a man individually. I guess he called himself the Manhunter at that moment, and he found the perp he was looking for in that episode. So he shows that he's very competitive, but he's also capable of so many things. Jake is also won, I believe, the very first Halloween heist. And let's say on top of that, he had an episode where he was kind of like a die-hard moment. Using a little help from Charles, he was able to take down a bunch of Canadian criminals. In one episode, Jake had discovered there was a hitman stealing body parts or stealing hearts so that way he could give it to a mobster who was going to have surgery and replace the heart that he had that was not doing so well. So Jake is pretty impressive when it comes to figuring things out in a moment's notice. Rosa Diaz. Okay, she's mysterious as heck, but she has experience in the medical field. She has experience in business. She has a pilot's license, apparently. I mean, the girl, she's an expert gymnast. I mean, she's got a history. And let's talk about a couple things she's done. She's really good with a slingshot. Rosa has survived a mass shooting. On top of that, she's pretty tough when it comes to durability, since she actually can stay in icy waters, like with Captain Holt, during like the nighttime at the beach. It's crazy. On top of that, she shows that she always has some equipment or gear on her. Like she's either carrying on her, or she has it in her desk, or she has it in her car, or she has it at her place. Either way, the woman shows that she's well prepared when it comes to any situation during a survival moment. When it comes to getting down, throwing down. And if that wasn't enough, let's talk about the time she won a Halloween heist 3 times in 1 year. She's the only one that's been able to do that. She had a crown. She even had the Infinity Godtude, I don't remember, the Finitude something. I forgot what it was called. There was a funny name to it. It wasn't exactly the name of what it was supposed to be called. So Rosa has shown that she's pretty tough when it comes to any situation. Alright, so now the process of elimination. Who gets kicked out of the island? So let's start off with the easy ones. Hitchcock and Scully. Yeah, they're going to get eliminated by Terry. Now, why just Terry? Well, Terry's strong and tough enough to do it. Plus, I think the other group would realize that Terry is the most difficult person that they're going to have to deal with during this whole island survival situation, considering he's much more stronger, much more bigger. He could probably take at least 3 or 4 of them on his own. So, yeah, he's probably the big dog to take out. So they would probably let Hitchcock and Scully get eliminated by Terry. Now, Terry's strong, but after having to deal with 2 heavyweights, you're going to get a little tired, maybe a little worn out. That being said, I mean, Terry probably can go all day, but 6 of them going against Terry, I don't know. That's going to be a little tricky. There's a lot of tricks up their sleeves. There's a lot of technique and skills. Plus, they're also pretty... Well, you have Rosa and you have Captain Holt in your corner, who are 2 of the toughest people in there. I got to say that Terry's going to get eliminated after Hitchcock and Scully. Yeah, that's right. Terry is out of the competition. So now, who's going to win this? Here's 2 things I wanted to add into that. The reason why I say Hitchcock and Scully go against Terry is because they're dumb enough to think that they're tough enough to take him. And also Terry has probably, and I don't want to be offensive, has probably a little more to live for in his mind. considering the fact that he has 2 daughters, he has another kid, he has 3 kids actually, and then he also has his wife, so he, big job, so a big responsibility. So I would say that Terry would want to think that he would need to survive this whole outcome, so he would eliminate his team very easily, considering he's much more stronger. As long as he's in good shape, he's not hungry to death, I think he could probably take all of them on, so that's why I mentioned this. So now that being said, let's get into who goes off next. I'm going to say Gina eliminates Charles. Now, why is that? Well, Charles is kind of a weak link. He kind of bows down easily. He's not the type of guy to survive. He would rather let Jake, if he stays, he's going to help Jake probably survive and then commit suicide for him. So Gina would most likely be the one to eliminate. Think about it. Between the two, he took a bullet, but she took a stab and a hit from a bus. So I gotta say that she's probably more durable than Charles is in this essence. Obviously, after that, Jake would probably get revenge for Charles because he does really care about Charles, and then Gina would get eliminated. Even if Gina and Jake go way back, like car seats. Then now you got Jake and Amy, Captain Holt and Rosa. Now, I'm going to say that Jake and Amy are 2 loving couples, so I'm going to say that they're probably going to work together in this situation. And then most likely it would be Rosa and Captain Holt having them work together as well. But Captain Holt going against Jake would probably be a one-on-one situation, and that Amy would go against Rosa. Now, as we probably could guess it, Jake is pretty impressive, but Captain Holt is tough. He's too hard to beat. Especially one-on-one, especially since he took out especially since he took out one guy with like weapons, especially when he took a pipe out. Like, let's just get real. Captain Holt is tough, so boom, he eliminates Jake easily. With Rosa and Amy, even though they're probably equally when it comes to skills and she's competitive, Amy is kind of still a little more of a softie when it comes to Rosa. Rosa's pretty tough. On top of that, she's incredibly flexible and durable. She's capable of doing a lot of things. She was able to parkour off of a top of a roof or something like that. So she is she's not somebody you want to mess with, and she'd be hard to put out. So I got to say Rosa takes Amy out. So now we're down to the last 2. Now, Rosa and Captain Holt. Now this is going to be interesting because there's a lot to go on. You got the youth, you got the mysterious past, you got the preparedness to consider on all Rosa's side, by the way. That you got to consider that. You got the youth, she's got the mysterious past, which means she's probably got some skills besides the police force techniques, and she's probably carrying some kind of weapon on her anyways, maybe an axe or a baton. She's always carrying something. But that being said, let me just get real with you guys. And I know some of the people that are going to watch this are going to disagree with me with this, but just bear with me, okay guys? But I'm going to say Captain Holt takes Rosa out. Reason why I say this is because Captain Holt was able to disarm a person. Has been able to take a stabbing. Even if Rosa were to get a stab into him, he would still be able to take that stabbing and probably maneuver it off of her or probably disarm her. Captain Holt can't do that. Rosa is tough, but she's known to be tough using some form of weapon. I haven't really seen her do anything in the show with her fist, with any kind of technique of fighting style. I've seen Captain Holt do it, but I haven't seen Rosa. So sadly, I gotta say, because of Captain Holt's experience, because of the way he was able to disarm a person with a weapon, the way he's been able to handle 3 people, the way he was able to handle a pipe into the leg, yeah, I gotta say Captain Holt is the Outlaster on this one. Anyways, do you agree or disagree? Feel free to leave it down in the comment section below. And as always, No Press Fan, we really appreciate you guys. Catch you guys later. Peace.